Hi guys. Because of the long weekend and the holiday, we're only going to have one assignment posted for this week. In this assignment, we're trying to cover a little bit more ground and get through the story of Minerva and Arachne. So, what's going to happen today is that I'm going to be reading you guys the story of Minerva and Arachne, chapter 2. I'm going to read it for you in Latin, and then I'm going to translate it for you out loud in English. And I'd like you to use this video to complete the questions. Okay? It'll be really helpful if you have out your vocab for Minerva and Arachne. We've had two chapters of this, so you're going to have two different sheets or maybe two different tabs open from your previous work. I promise it'll be helpful. All right. So again, I will be reading you this story. I'm going to read it to you in Latin, and then I'm going to read an English translation to you, and we're going to use this video to answer the questions that follow. Great. Just so you can remember a little bit of what's going on, our story tells about the girl named Arachne. She is a human girl, and she has the great talent of weaving things with such a fine skill. Remember, to weave things, you are on a loom. That's the tool you use. We can see some women here standing at a loom, and they would weave long threads of wool, and that's what all of their clothes would be made out of. Different sized threads would be used for rugs or drapes or blankets or things like that, but every single thing would have been made in this way. And Arachne was a real talent. Even the nymphs would stop what they were doing and look at her amazing creations. Also, in our last chapter, we met Minerva. Minerva is the goddess of wisdom, but she's also the god of handicraft. So, things that you do in your home to make it beautiful and livable, things like cooking and weaving and anything else that you would do in your home, cleaning, for instance, those are the things that she's in charge of. So, she thinks, and the nymphs think, that Arachne should thank Athena for her gift. In fact, we concluded our last chapter with the nymphs asking Arachne, Quis est magistra tibi? They would ask, Who is your teacher? Kind of like saying, Who taught you this? And because only the gods are able to make things as nice as Arachne's creations, the nymphs assumed that Arachne would want to thank Minerva for her great skill. But as we're going to see in this chapter, that's not Arachne's style. She's not the kind of person to thank anybody for something she feels like she's done herself. Here's Arachne talking to the nymphs, telling them that she doesn't need Minerva. All right, here we're going to get into it. At the bottom, I'll include a couple of bullet points that have some extra vocab that we haven't discussed in class, but pretty much everything else is going to be something you've seen before, and so that can help you answer these questions. All right, first in Latin. Sed Arachne non sapientiam habet, negat Minerva magistram, puella temeraria se laudat. But Arachne does not have wisdom. Sapientiam is the direct object there. Negat Minervam magistram. We can see that Minervam ends in am, so does magistram. Those are not the subject. The subject is hidden here in the T. She is the subject. She denies that Minerva is her teacher, her magistra. She denies that Minerva is her teacher. Puella temeraria se laudat. The girl praises, say, herself, temeraria, that's on your current list, recklessly. Or we could even say the reckless girl praises herself. She's doing this boldly. She's definitely no coward, but she's doing it without thinking about the consequences of the future. Puella clamat, formo picturas et fabulas melius quam Minerva, nemo mihi magistra est. The girl shouts, formo. We see that this word that we've seen as format in the past, or formare, has an O at the end here. That means I am the subject. Arachne, the girl, is speaking, and she says, I make pictures and stories. Better than Minerva. Melius quam. Better than Minerva. No one. Nemo means no one. Magistra est. Is the teacher me, he, for me. No one is my teacher. So she's saying, I taught myself. I don't have to thank Minerva. I did this all on my own. Nemo me docet. Nemo, no one. Docet, teaches. Me, that's a direct object form. Me. No one teaches me. Me doceo. We see again this O at the end of the verb. Up here, the T ending meant no one is the subject. He, she, it, nobody, right? This O ending means I am the subject. She says, no one teaches me. Dokeo, I teach. Me, I teach me. So everything I've learned, I had to teach it to myself, is what she's saying. Me dokeo, I teach myself. Dea Minerva formam feminae simulat et in terra ambulat. Puellum temerarium docere temptat. Dea Minerva. Minerva is her name, and Dea is what she is. She's the goddess Minerva. We're going to go to this word right here. This T ending tells me this is what she's doing. Remember, our sentences in Latin can be in any order, but in English, we like to go subject, verb. So the goddess Minerva copies formam femulae, the shape of a woman. The goddess Minerva copies the shape of a woman and walks on earth. In terra means on earth. So sometimes the gods and goddesses would do this. They would put on a mortal disguise so they could go unseen around people on earth. Puellam temerarium docere temptat. Once again, am and am. These are our endings here. That means these are direct objects. We do not start with that. We want to start with our subject, which, because there's no word here in the subject case, I know is the T in temptat. That's going to be the she that refers back here to Minerva. She tries, docere, to teach Puellum temerarium, the reckless girl. So the goddess Minerva is going to put on her disguise so she looks like a human person, and she is going to try to teach the reckless girl. Minerva dicet, superbia est periculosa, experientia docet. These are wise words, and she's the goddess of wisdom. She should know. Minerva dicet. Minerva says, tell you down here that dicet means says. Superbia est periculosa. You look on your vocab list, you're going to see pride is dangerous. Pride is dangerous. Oops, sorry, skipped a little bit there. Experientia docet. Experience teaches. Experience teaches. I bet you've heard something like that before in the past. The best teacher is experience, right? And Minerva's telling us that right here. Sed Arcahne iterum affermat, formo pictoras melius quam Minerva, dea debet certare mecum. So you hear at the bottom that mecum means with me, but all these other words are words from your vocab list. Said, but Arcahne affermat, affirms, says, right? Iterum, again. Arcahne affirms again. Formo. There's that ending again with the O. That means I am the subject, and Arachne's talking here, so she's talking about herself. I make pictoras, pictures, melius quam Minerva, better than Minerva. Dea debet certare mecum. Dea, the goddess, ought to or must for debit. Certare, compete. We say on our vocab list. Mecum, with me. The goddess must compete with me. Imagine being that proud, right? That you're going to say, I'm so good, the gods are in my league, nobody else. But she's saying it. Puella dicet, nunc minervam voco, certa mecum. The girl says, now, voco, that O ending again means I am the subject. She's speaking. I summon, I call upon, Minerva, Certa mecum, compete. This is a imperative form. It's a command. Compete mecum, compete with me. So instead of praying and giving thanks, she's calling down the gods and saying, I call upon you, Minerva. It's your turn. We're going to have a battle. Minerva est errata. Se esse deum monstrat. Dicit Arcahne es stulta. Well, we hear up top that Minerva est errata. That's in almost the exact order we'd put it in English. Minerva is angry. This sentence, however, is not going to be in English word order. Monstrat is the word I want to start with. She shows. She shows. Se means herself. Esse means to be. And deum is a direct object. It means a goddess. So she shows herself to be a goddess. So she casts off her disguise and reveals herself in her true form. Dicet, she says, Arcahne es stulta. She says, Arcahne, you are stupid. You are foolish. That word es right there. Est with a T. Up top, we see this one right here. That means he, she, or it is. Es, that S ending, means you are, right? It's the same verb in a different form. Minerva goes on to say, Te docere tempto, sed es etiam superba. Te docere debeo. Nymphae, fortate tellus. She's still talking to Arcahne, and she says, Tempto. Again, that O ending means I am the subject, and Minerva speaking here. I try to teach you. I am trying to teach you, she says. Sed es etiam superba. But you are, there's that S again, you are still proud. Debeo. I ought or I must. Docere, to teach, I must teach you. I'm going to teach you a lesson, she says. Nymphae, portate tellus. She's talking to the nymphs. She says, nymphs, portate, carry or bring, telos. Those are the looms. Those are the things that they're going to do their weaving on. All right, so you can flip through this slide presentation. I'll be asking about some words, and I'm also going to be asking about the translation. I hope this goes well for you. Let me know. Have a great week, guys. Bye.